Hello, everyone. You all are welcome to our monthly Dhamma and Dharma program. And this time for the month of June, as usual, we started every first Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We have been conducting this. For this time, since we all have been very busy due to Vesak celebrations and everything, we hope to conduct today's program in a kind of different way. There are 2 months to ask the questions and 2 months to answer the questions. For asking questions, we are here, myself, Bhanti Dhammaloka, and Venerable Kamalasiri. And to answer in Mahayana side, Dharma side, Venerable Geshe, Venerable Lobsang Geshe Dharge, and from Theravada point of view, to answer from the Dhamma side, Venerable Sutadhara Mahathero is here. And also, in between, you can send, as listeners, your questions also. Or I think you don't have to send, you would directly be able to ask questions also. And Venerable Nanda is also here to conduct paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and meditation, short one. And I welcome you all warmly, and please start our Dhamma and Dharma program today. Thank you. Venerable Nanda.
Unmute, please.
Unmute, yeah.
Yeah, Venerable Nanda, your mic is mute.
Okay, good. Now you can hear, right?
Yes.
Venerable monks, friends of the Dhamma. Now we are going to start the Vandana. Briefly pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So we do recite Namo Tassa Iti Bhikkhu Bhagava Swakkhato Supatipanno. It's not too long, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagavarahang samma sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarathi sattā deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Swakkhato bhagavata dhammo samdittiko akaliko ehi passiko hopanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sāmīti patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang Chantari Purisa Yugani Anta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyam Ketang Lokasansati. By the power of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, may you all be well, happy and peaceful. With that great intention, let's practice loving friendliness meditation briefly. You can sit comfortable position. Keep relax your mind and body with a calm, quiet and peaceful mind. Pay attention top of your head and all over your body. Then mindfully say, may I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from anger. May I be free from suffering. Likewise, few times observing your body, pervade loving friendliness practice, the metta bhavana. Then observe, pay attention towards all living beings. As I am, may all living beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all living beings be free from anger. May all living beings be free from suffering. With this great loving friendliness practice, mindfully observe, mindfully be mindful on your natural breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Just focus your minds on your ingoing and outgoing breath. It is smooth, tranquil, and relaxing. So peaceful. Observe your ingoing and outgoing natural breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Meanwhile, remember, the breath also subject to change, impermanent, anicca, unsatisfactory, or suffering, dukkha. It is not under my control, anatta, anicca, dukkha, anatta. The breath also included these three characteristics of existence. The breath is not me, not mine, not myself. This part is very important. With your mindful practice, turn in this vipassana stage, vipassana practice, the breath is not me, not mine, not myself. Just breathe in, breathe out. So relaxing, so peaceful. Enjoy the sensation of your natural breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Also, this helps you to stay here in the present moment. Ignore all of your past memories and future plannings. You are here right now in this, in the present moment. Here, you are not doing just breathe in and breathe in out. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. By this practice of Dhamma, in accord of the Dhamma, I venerate the Buddha. By this practice of Dhamma, in accord with the Dhamma, I venerate the Dhamma. By this practice of Dhamma, in accord with the Dhamma, I venerate the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Nanda. I think now our most venerable monks who have been participating here, Venerable Sutadhara would explain a little bit about our topic today to start the Dhamma discussion.
Thank you, Venerable Dhammaloka. Today, our topic is the Dhammacakka Sutta and how the community of the Sangha came into being. So, so far we have been just going through the biography of the Buddha as far as we can find in different sources. That today the topic is mainly after Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that having delivered the sutta on the turning the wheel of Dhamma, then what happened after the ordination of 5 monks, and then from 5 months to then he met another group of princes, and then finally according to Vinaya Mahavagga, that's the first one of the first books of the Vinaya, the disciplinary code. Then we find like up to 61 members of the community, or the ordained disciples of the community, the male ordained disciple of the community we find. And then after that, the Buddha already gave instructions for the all to go around and teach. And also that the Buddha himself put
For now, you can.
put himself into the main like the also he himself was among those people who teach Dhamma. In other words, in other occasion he mentioned that he is also part of the community. He is not, he didn't exclude himself from the community. And then finally, the last group in the earliest part, we find 1,003 monks. And that then after that, it's later. Then we find that the ordination of the chief disciples and later the bhikkhunis, that's the female ordained disciples of the Buddha's dispensation. So that's basically the idea that we find that every time Buddha ordained these monks, having delivered the sermon, and then they attain at least stream enterer level, and then they wanted to be monks, then it is just by calling them to come and also live this holy life. That was his the ordination, and also novice ordination, and also the full ordination or Upasampada ordination. Then later it found like just by asking them to accept the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha as their refuge. So those are the just earlier stage. Later we can discuss about those things. And I think that that's the preliminary part of it. In between, we find different discourses that how those disciples, well, first they attain the first stream enterer level, and then the next he put all the group together and gave another teaching, such as the soullessness. Also, then for the 1,003 monks, it's about the fire simile discourse. So those are the just in brief, I just wanted to share as an introduction. Thank you.
Bandit Amaloka, you are mute.
Thank you, Venerable Sutadhara. And now I think Venerable Lobsang Geshe Dharge would explain how the first Dhamma discourse in accordance with Mahayana tradition, and then Venerable Kamalsiri would start to ask questions both the monks on regard their little discussions, little talks.
Thank you, Bandit Amaloka. So basically that how the training of real Dharma, and then also how Sangha members began and split it everywhere, the same as a Theravada. So, but additionally, Mahayana traditions talks about there are two more the wheel training Dharma. The first one is same, which is talks on Saranat, which is Four Noble Truth. And then also the Mahayana tradition accept that also in Rajgir, Buddha talks in the second wheel training Dharma, which is main topic is Paramita. The Paramita that talks two different things, view and conduct for enlightenment. So part of the view talks about emptiness, and then part of the conduct talks that all path and bhumi to from beginning to end, how to reach enlightenment. That's instructed that part. And also Buddha talks like in Vaishala, the third world turning Dhamma. That's mine. But the third world turning Dhamma, how comes the third, why Buddha talks third world turning Dhamma? Because the first world turning Dhamma, Buddha talks about every existing things are inherent existence. And second world turning Dhamma, Buddha also talks every existence are lack of inherent existence. Then many Sangha member and Bodhisattvas get confused because they're two conflict words. And then they asked Buddha, so you first world turning Dhamma, you said everything's inherent existence. And second, you're saying everything's lack of inherent existence. What is this? So then Buddha give answer for that. It comes that third world turning Dhamma. And special talks about that main Chittamatra, the viewpoints. That's how Buddha teach main three world training Dhamma. And then splitting Sangha member, you will not see really the Mahayana Sangha member group in historically. So as like a Theravada does, as like a Pali tradition does, as like a Sarvaga practitioner does. So because the most of the followers Buddha are the Sarvaga practitioner, like after Buddha passed parinirvana, then Buddha gave all this like a permission or like a response to the great Sarvaga Kashyapa. And then Kashyapa passed to the Ananda passed to the Sanavasti passed to the Ubagupta, that passed to the Dadika, that passed to the Krishna, that passed to the Sudarshana. It takes a long time. That's how split Sangha member, Sangha group. At the beginning, only Buddha Gaya and Varanasi has a Sangha member, but other places really don't have a really that. And after each that the successive that we call that like 7 successive Arhat, they do and they split it and they make more Sangha group and more Sangha group. Then after that, you know, that when we collected 3 times, that concealing 3 times or 5 times Dharma, and that they have many groups split it. So Mahayana, you will not see that much group established and that big group, because saying that all this Mahayana practitioner who's practicing bodhicitta, bodhisattva, they comes to Buddha and listening teaching, and they're not just follow Buddha where Buddha goes. They're split it, goes many different places, because their motivation is bodhicitta as always benefiting the other. Therefore, they receive teaching and they go all over the every places and they teach it. So that's why we easily decrease that Mahayana tradition cannot firm like a Pali tradition, because the Pali traditions continues hold it, right? Even the King Ashoka time continues hold it. Mahayana is easily dispirited because at the way beginning, they do not have a group like this. And then 1 minute I could say how the Mahayana traditions again manifested in this world and this earth. There's 3 ways to say it. Sometimes they're saying that Mahayana is actually split from Mahasamkhya tradition. Mahasamkhya tradition, right? It's a right? I think Mahasamkhya traditions is split from that. That's one way to say it. Another way to say it, the Mahayana is like established newly from that Jatakatios, the power of the Jatakatios, and then some other Japanese scholars saying different. But we saying that Nagarjuna, after 400 years, Nagarjuna comes and then began it. And then after that, what we call Asanga comes, also make another Mahayana the traditions began it. That's how split it. So that's brief my presentations.
Venerable Geshe Dharge, thank you very much for introduction. And now Bante Kamalasiri, you can start, asking questions for the benefit of everyone to get knowledge out of these two great masters.
I think it is better the Lamaji can explain the story of the first Dhamma sermon which happened in Saranath. According to the Mahayana books, how it has reports in Mahayana books. What happened, when, which day, and to whom, and how they report it.
Oh, okay. So I don't think it's separate than Pali tradition, because the who teach you the first Four Noble Truth is the five eccentric, Buddha's 5 main students. This is the who received the first Noble Truth teaching. And then when Buddha teach the first Four Noble Truth like a teaching, there are 3 ways to do it. First, just explain what is it, and then second, explain what is how it's functioning. And third time, again, Buddha repeated the Four Noble Truth. What is the result of each Four Noble Truth? That's the way Buddha training the will. And the 5 disciples, that's the Mahayana textbook said it. Is the same?
But the Sutradhara, what do you think of that? You
Sutradhara, mute, please.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, the Four Noble Truths, that the explanation given in the first sermon, it's just mostly a list, and also then it's like the threefold, then and also it is finally it becomes 12 different ways, just like the Four Noble Truths are explained there. And very important declaration by the Buddha is that as long as I completely realize these Four Noble Truths, I never declared that I am the fully awakened one, or the Samma Sambuddha. So that's the highlight that I see in that. Well, after that, what happened was that Anya Kondanya, the first monk, and also historically, he was the first one to declare that this little baby is going to be the Buddha. And he finally realized the Dhamma by attaining the stream enterer level. And that after that, actually, the Buddha specifically mentioned about the Kondanya, and also having given a special name title, Anya. He was Kondanya, and the Kondanya is the name, and then Anya Kondanya is that one who realized the truth, the one who realized the truth. And then after that, all from the level, the human level, up to the Brahma realm, human realm to the Brahma realm. First, all the divine beings started praising the Buddha, and praising the Buddha, and hail the Buddha for what he did. So that's the explanation we find in turning the wheel of Dhamma discourse. But to understand that discourse itself, if you go into the further details, we have to go into different other discourses, such as Satya Vibhanga, Sammaditthi, etc. in Majjhima Nikaya.
I think, sorry. So additionally here, it's exactly same, threefold, two around, exactly same. But also we said that the first time when Buddha said repeating, the first repeating time, the first fold, and then Kunyadan received the accumulation path. And when Buddha repeat second time, Kunyadan received like a seeing path. And then at the third time, Kunyada received attend that what called meditation path with its 5 path. That's what we said it. And then all the others are also attend that accumulation path.
Yeah.
Okay, Venerable Geshe, in Theravada tradition, as Venerable Sutta explained, it says Venerable Kondanya attained we called Sotapannahood, or the stream enterer state. In Mahayana tradition too, is it explained in that way as Sotapanna, or in some other way does it explained?
Now what I explained, right? I'm not using that Pali language. So like accumulation path and seeing path and meditation path, right? We have a 5 path. So that's the Kunyata achieved each time he achieved different.
And do you know the Sanskrit word for that accumulation path?
Not really. Yeah. Yeah.
Venerable Kamalsiri, you can.
Actually, I also have the same question, but I wanted to ask from the Bhante Sutta, is there is any Pali word for that? Actually, what is the good word for that accumulation?
Accumulation.
Okay, I found here in Sanskrit language, the accumulation path called Sambhara Morga. And that after that preparation path, that called Paryoga Morga. And then seeing path, they call Darsana Morga. Sorry, I did mistake. So the Kundana first time accumulation path, and second time preparation path, third time he achieved Darsana Morga, which is path of seeing. And then the fourth one is Bhavana Morga. And then fifth one is Asiksa Murga. Asiksa Murga. No more learning path. Yeah.
Use that word Murga or Marga?
Marga, I think Marga. Yeah. So Sambhara, that's accumulation. I think that may be the Bodhisambhara in Pali tradition also. We use that word Bodhisambhara. This may be here like that. Pariyoga, how do you translate Pariyoga in English, Venerable?
Paryoga, path of preparation.
I think it is Prayoga.
Yeah.
I think it is Prayoga Marga.
Yeah.
Prayoga Marga.
Prayoga. Is that mean preparation?
Yeah, path of preparation to seeing
Okay.
selflessness directly.
Okay.
Preparation.
Yeah. Darshana, it's very clear. When explained about Sotapannahood, it says the Atti Bhikkave Asava Dasanena Pahatabba. Certain defilements should be eliminated through the vision. So I think in that way, when it explains the Darshana, I think in Theravada tradition, that would be the Sotapannahood, accomplishment of Sotapannahood, I guess.
Oh, and then same. Yes, Kunyadan achieved that. Sotapannahood.
Then Bhavana and Asiksha.
Ashiksha.
Asiksha. What do you mean Asiksha in English?
No more learning. Shiksha
No
means
more learning.
learning,
Ah,
right?
okay,
Ah
okay.
means negative, no more learning.
Right.
Akin-
Asiksha. It should be asiksha more. Yeah.
Yeah.
No more learning. That means I think that should be when he attained arahantship.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's like a Pali tradition is Arahant, Mahayana tradition is Buddhahood.
Oh, okay. Ah, right. That's the Buddhahood.
Yeah.
And then Mahayana means attainment of arahantship, and Hinayana means attainment of Sotapanhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's very interesting, even so far. So actually, though they are, we call like two schools or something, but in this path of the Dhamma, both the schools can be seen in the same traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then comes after that comes another 54 disciples. Can we find those records in Mahayana books?
54 disciple, I don't know how to count it. This is different on different traditional, I think. So really, yeah, this is depend on how to count it. Maybe us included all this like the follower Buddha. Maybe yes. Yeah, I really not found the 54, that's exact number.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is meaning Yasa, the young merchant. Yasa, he became and joined to the Sangha.
Mhm.
And after that, he 4 of his friends came and joined. After that, another 50
Oh, I see.
friends of them came. Then it became the 55.
Included the 5 main esoteric, Punyadana, and so
The
on.
including the main 5, then it is 60.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The first group of missionaries is really the Buddha directly advised them to go and teach, and he said that two people take one road. You have to go just by oneself on one road, because there is a small group of people. You have to work harder in different directions and teaching. So that's and Buddha himself went to Uruela, where he used to be before become the Buddha, right?
Again, back to Bodh Gaya.
It's a
So,
Sena Nikama, yeah, towards.
in Theravada tradition, this is the first Sangha member established?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we are saying the Sangha members group is not really established like a until Buddha Parinirvana. There are big Sangha group there. Big Sangha group there. And then most of them just following Buddha wherever Buddha goes, and wherever Buddha sit, they're sitting there. And then sometime they're here, they're in small group there. It's not really called it's monastery and temple. So, and then after that, what called like the Kashapa, when they take response, then they really increase and grows more and more, and then more monastery. That's the how we said it. Yeah.
So, Venerable Geshe, so you mentioned about bodhisattvas, and how do you differentiate Sangha members and bodhisattvas? Bodhisattvas are lay people or Sangha members or both?
It's both. Sangha member is, we are more described by who has a vows. That's the Sangha member. Bodhisattva, we are more described through by who has a bodhicitta. Then one person can have a both vows and bodhicitta. Therefore, Sangha member and bodhisattva is not conflict.
I think for the benefit of others, would you please explain what bodhicitta means in brief?
Oh, sure, definitely. Bodhicitta is that mind. Chitta means mind, right? Mind which has a thinking, the enlightenment for others. Then before let them achieve enlightenment, that self should be achieve enlightenment first, Buddhi first. So therefore, the mind which is thinking Buddhahood, that's the bodhicitta means. And if more collaborated that, elaborated that saying that two aspirations, the main aspiration is that taking responsibility is not just wishing, it's taking responsibility that every single sentient being, let them achieve Buddhahood. And then for that, in order to let them achieve Buddhahood, then should self achieve Buddhahood first to make qualified to let them help. That's the main mind of the Bodhicitta.
Similar question, I think, from Venerable Sutadhara. So in Theravada tradition, we talk about Buddha Bodhisattva Metteya and took vows from the Buddha, right? So how do you explain it?
That is just the Bodhisattva Metteya was it's according to the Theravada commentarial tradition, we find this that there are over 28 Buddhas that well, the Gautama Buddha meeting like as Bodhisattva, all the other, like starting from the Dipankara Buddha, before there were 4, but those were not verbally declaring that he's aspiring to become the Buddha, but verbally he declared to the Dipankara Buddha, and then the Buddhas, that Buddha gave a declaration, proclamation that okay, this one is going to be the Buddha in future as the Gautama Buddha. So this the Gautama Buddha's meeting with Metteya, the Bodhisattva, was the same in the same light, and the Gautama Buddha declaring that Metteya Buddha is going to be the next Buddha. So that's the that is not giving any teachings particularly. It is just by with the Buddha's special knowledge by the declare the future. It's like futuristic explanation. Right?
So that Metteya Bodhisattva was a monk at the time, right?
Yeah. He became monk.
Metteya Bodhisattva, actually, he was, as a layperson, his name was Sirivardhana in Sankasa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the I'm going to ask question. Is layperson or ordinance?
Yeah,
So-
first he was a layperson,
And
Mhm.
then he got the initiations from the Buddha.
Uh-huh.
After that, he became a monk.
Before he became a monk, he was Buddha or not?
Bodhisattva.
Just a bodhisattva, unenlightened, who really know who's seeking Buddhahood.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's a potential being to be the Buddha.
And Buddha declared him as the next Buddha.
Oh, yes, that's same. That's we are same. So I think, can I ask one question more? As like I need to know that there are the traditions. So as Maitreya Buddha before is Bodhisattva, right?
Mhm.
So as like we are ordained monks. So can we do prostration to Maitreya Buddha before he become a monk? He is Bodhisattva. Can we prostration to him or not?
Yeah, as a monk, I
Yeah,
think
we are monk, right?
Yeah.
We are ordinary monk, not Bodhisattva, but the Maitreya Buddha is Bodhisattva before even become a monk, right? So at the time, as he layperson, he is Bodhisattva, can we do prostration to him?
actually, I also had that question. There is no any rules for that or explanation about that, but traditionally in Sri Lanka we can see the statues if Bodhisattva statue is with lay cloth, the ordinary cloth,
Mhm.
then monks are not worshipped to him.
I see.
But the Bodhisattva is in robe,
Mm.
then monks are worshipped to him.
Oh.
That is the thing we can find, but there is no any explanation about that.
Yeah, we
Uh,
do.
that
Like all these Manjushri, Maitreya, Buddha, they are like layperson robe. So we do prostration, yeah.
Mhm. But I
And-
think in Theravada tradition, they not do the prostrations. Yeah.
Respect.
And Bante Kamal Sirian, what about when we explain about the Gautama Buddha as the Bodhisattva Dipankara, Venerable Buddha Dipankara's time, as Sumedha Pandita, when he was getting that, vowed and predictions to become the future Buddha, in that dispensation of Buddha Dipankara, that monks who were there, is it explained like those monks after that declaration, and then did they paid homage to that Bodhisattva Sumedha or not?
Well, it doesn't say that they pay homage, but they definitely well, put flowers on him, right? That is what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's just maybe in honor of him, put flowers. But other than that, it is not mentioned.
Not
that,
prostrate. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to make clear, I think, this point. The way of paying respect is not only by kneeling down and putting the palms together, but many other ways we can respect others. So I think for certain different persons, in different ways, we would pay our respect. So I think that's what we can apply here with the Bodhisattva and monks way of respecting each other.
Yeah, we do also when we have monk confession, some are junior than us, right? The who has
Yeah.
vows. So we not really bow down. We just do this 3 times. It's kind of respecting, yeah.
Mhm.
So, Venerable Kamal Siri, you can.
And I have another question for the Geshe. Can we find there is any sutra or as a sutra, the first Dhamma sermon in Tibetan language?
The best Dhamma sermon means what?
The first one, first Dhamma sermon, which happened in Varanasi.
Yeah, we have a short one. We have a very short one. It's in which exactly the 3 times repeating this Four Noble Truth. That's very short one we do have in a Tibetan sutra. We call it same like a Dhammachakra Sutra.
If I search in the internet as a Tibetan Dhammachakra, can we get it or not?
Yeah, I will send you.
Yeah, that is the best way. I try to find it.
It's very short. Yeah, I will send you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, actually, both of our questions go directly mostly into Venerable Geshe, since we do not know that much about Mahayana tradition. But Venerable Suthadhara can explain in Theravada point of view too. Venerable Geshe used the word Shunyata. And I think in Theravada tradition, it's called Anatta. So would you please, both of you, explain what do you mean by Shunyata and what do you mean by Anatta?
Okay, Anatta, we accept both. The Anattas, what using by the Pali tradition, we call like a is gross level of ultimate view, and shunyata is ultimate level of ultimate view. That's what we said. And shunyata is actually every existing things are no fundamental because of everything is dependent origination. That's the shunyata, right? So anatta is more connected with the selflessness. So selflessness, the gross level of selflessness, we're saying that thinking self is like a lack of permanence, lack of individual, and that's three things. And then second level of ananda, we talk the self is also not independently exit. Then after that we go shunyata. So there are three kind of level view that all we need to know each are and need to know practice each are, and then you will know better shunyata. That's we said it.
Venerable Sutadhara, please.
In that to Mogaraja, the Buddha says that Sunyato lokang avikkas. The Mogaraja Sadasato. The Mogaraja always be mindful and see the world as nothing in it. And so that's the word Sunyata is found there. But it is the based upon that there is nothing solid. The nothing solid is there. So if it is solid, if someone says there is something solid, always transient. There is no permanent entity in the world. But when I look at the word sunyata, even conceptually, just saying that there is something called anicca. And well, when we say that as a concept, if we say anicca is there, that it doesn't mean that there is something called anicca and it is existing. Very nature of transience is anicca. So to understand, well, realize that nature must be sunyata. If not, we conceptually start to hold on to those the teachings, right? It's like nibbana. It's like I want to attain nibbana. When I say that, then who is going to attain and where you are going to go? The nibbana is not something that you are going to go and enter somewhere. Nibbana is the extinction of all suffering. So other than that, you cannot find a place or no hold, nothing there. So that's the explanation I can give about sunyata in terms of anitya, and also, well, if something is anicca or the impermanent, then always it is subject to suffering. And then if something is impermanent or subject to suffering, then you cannot find anything solid as me, mine, myself. That is how all the three tenets are explained and interconnected.
Venerable Sutadhara, what's the difference in between anatta and sunyata?
The anatta and sunyata, that is when we take it is we can explain it in terms of the five aggregates. That is
Anatta.
another way. Yeah, anatta. Then we usually consider I, me, mine, or that self view is always connected with the five aggregates. We consider these five aggregates form feelings, the perception, and then volition and consciousness. Those five as one entity, and there is a person, there is someone living. But it is also dependently originated entity and always momentarily transient. So in that sense, you cannot find something solid there too. That is how the anatta and the we can kind of explain anatta in that sense. But fundamentally, it's always going into the impermanence, because without impermanence, the other two are not explained or not interdependent.
Sorry, let me clarify that. I
Mm.
confused between anathema and anathea. So last time when I mentioned it, it's actually I tried to explain anathema. So, but anathea is impermanent. That's a big difference. So the anathea should be something there which we can deal with it, which we can function at it, but it's still depend on cause and condition, and then it's like a changing always. That kind of thing is anatta, right? So there are gross level of anatta is like a house is collapsing, trees is fall down, and then the candle lights are extinguished. These are the gross level of the person are dying, gross level of anatta. And then this gross level of anatta is really depend on subtle level of anatta, because it's not the momentary change. How come it's immediately change, getting old? How come it's like a death? Death is really much depend on the process to come momentary change. That's the anatta. And shunyata, it's confusing things. Yeah, the shunyata is if we look at the earlier text, one of the reasons they're saying Mahayana is not the Buddha's teaching, because Mahayana teaching talks about shunyata. Shunyata means nihilism. And if this is the nihilism, there's no fruit, and no fruit for practice. There's no result for practice. Then therefore, the Mahayana shouldn't be Buddha teaching. That's the one reason they apply that. But they're really not clear with what really is shunyata. We talk shunyata is not nihilism, but very close to nihilism. Very close to nihilism, but not nihilism. So this is something there, but it's not there like a what called independently, right? But independently not there, but there. So therefore, we're not talking nihilism. Therefore, it considered Buddha's teaching. That's the way to prove it. That, yeah. Sorry, it takes time for that.
Yes, I think when we talk about anatta, as Venerable Geshe said, actually, originally we were talking about anatma and shunyata, and not anitya, but better to know that anitya and that word too. So I think anatta, when we use the word anatta, that can be applied to living beings. When we talk about shunya, that can be applied both the living ones and even material other type of things too. Shunya. Venerable Kamalsiri, do you agree with that, or you have any other opinion? Mute. It's mute.
Yeah, it was sunyata. Sound.
Yeah.
Sound was sunyata. Sadda. According to my understanding, actually I'm still studying about this concept. Because there is two things we have to do. The first thing is we have to study in the traditionally in both or three of traditions, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and Theravada, how we use this word and grammatically and everything. That is the one thing. Other thing is we have to realize it within the meditative knowledge or understanding, bhavana me jnana, the sutta me jnana, listen and studies that thing. In Theravada tradition, in Pali text, we can see that word sunyata. But it is just that word used only for the empty mind, empty from defilement, or the mind without defilement. That is the idea in Pali text. When it's used, the sunyata, it has use for that, the empty mind from defilement. There is no defilement.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I have one question and one clarifications. So Shunyata regarding Mahayana, it's not just saying empty of defilement. Empty of defilement means still something there, right? So Shunyata regarding Mahayana, it's saying there are no fundamental, or every single existence, their fundamental and basis is zero, nothing. The fundamental is nothing. That's the easy way
Yeah.
to explain it.
yeah.
Then my question is for that, which text in Pali they mention about word shunyata?
Dasutra Sutta in Digha Nikaya, and but the Sutta, can you remember that?
Actually, the Mogaraja, that when Buddha said Sunyato Lokang Avikkasu, Mogaraja, to Mogaraja, Buddha said that the see the world as empty. So that's the
It is similar to the Mahayana tradition, I think.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. In that sense, it goes right together with the Mahayana concept, and to see the world as emptiness.
Yeah, because usually we said in Theravada text that not really use the word exactly shunyata. So then, as you explained, it might have that. Therefore, I'm asking the textbook.
yeah the in the Mogaraja to the monk Mogaraja, he was teaching that, but the Theravadins hadn't developed, I don't know which time or anything, but they were not developing this concept into a philosophical explanation as Mahayana or other Nikayas, other the schools. Historical reason that I can see is that historically when especially the Vedantic philosophers, when they were coming for debates, mostly the Theravadins didn't go with that developing the philosophical explanations about the Buddhist concept. But always the Mahayana, the scholars, we find that they develop that philosophical explanation.
Lot, yeah. Mahayana text, you can see lot of shunyata word. But I studied Vivashaka Tenet school. I studied So Tantrika study, and there's both texts. I never see that using the word shunyata. So I really concerned to know is they mentioning there or not.
Yeah, whenever now it's very good to talk all these philosophical side, but to come go back to the main topic, I think we should go to how the Sangha community came into be. So how do you define Sangha according to Mahayana?
Bhante Dhammaloka,
Yeah.
I need a little bit for that again. Sorry. There is a sutra in Majjhima Nikaya, Mahasunyata Sutra. In that sutra mention about internal sunyata and external sunyata.
It's Pali, right?
Yeah, it is in Pali. Yeah.
Please send me the text name, okay?
Yeah. Yes, I can send it in English translation. I think it is easy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. It is okay, Bhante Dhammaloka, you can continue.
Yeah. So to go back to the main topic. So how do you explain according to Mahayana tradition, the Sangha or the community of monks and nuns, and how they would be known as Sangha, and how it really started to be a monastic member. How do you explain that?
So we explain three ways the Sangha, right? It is term Sangha, or that the Sangha itself, and then jewel of Sangha, like a Ratna, Sangha Ratna. It's three different things. So, and then just term Sangha, we Tibetan call Gedun. Gedun means who is admiring, who is having aspiration to engage virtues, they are Sangha. That's just term, but they are not original Sangha. They can have that name as a Sangha, right? But not original Sangha. Original Sangha, it's beginning from when they took the, we call Parmarabjung, intimate state vows. Before you take the novice vows, they have intimate state vows. And then you become a Sangha. And when you take novice vows and you take Bhikshu vows, then you are fully Sangha, right? That's the just described Sangha. But Sangha Ratna is different. Sangha Ratna who has the vows, but that's not enough. Also, Ratna is who can realize that Shunyata or Anitya directly. That's the Sangha Ratna. So that could be one person, could be Sangha Ratna. But the Sangha member, when it comes a community, four of Sangha members comes together, they can become a Sangha Ratna, just not individually become a Sangha Ratna, who do not see directly that Shunyata. That's three things different, yeah.
I think in Pali tradition, it is used in the different words. It is Mahasangha. Mahasangha is the community. And Arya Sangha, that is the one who realized Sunyata or
Jewel.
Nibbana.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
And
the,
that means noble Sangha.
yes. Then again in Ratana Sutta, it is called the Sangha means the Arya Sangha, it is jewel. I think that concept is there.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
When you look at the Sangha, we can have this disciple community. That is, doesn't matter whether they are ordained or not ordained. If they are on the path of enlightenment, starting from the Sotapanna, right, to the stream mental level, then they are those what we call the eight groups of people that who are enlightened. And that's always we have Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhuni Sangha, those are just the ordained Sangha. Right?
The community.
Yeah.
Just community. Mahasangha.
Mahasangha, yeah. Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni. That is coming from the ordained disciples of the Buddha.
So though not ordained, if they have entered into the level of stream Vina, they naturally become Arya Sangha or Jewel Sangha. And they are worthy of offering and everything that the as a Sangha member.
Yeah, Arya Sangha and also Arhat Sangha is also jewel member.
Yeah.
That's not simpler. Therefore, we say Sangha Ratna is both included.
Yeah.
Arya Sangha is describing just one, not both. So anyhow, Bandit Damaloga, I'm thinking maybe sometime we keep also the audience to chance to question answer. It's now 8:41. So just you can decide it whenever.
I think audience can send us a question, or they can unmute their things and please join with us. If you have any question
From audience.
from audience, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that amazing discussion. So let me see if I can articulate this properly. If the meanings of each word are dependent on the particular doctrinal tradition, and they are dependent on the linguistic context, and they vary across time. And I'm saying all words have those issues, like they can have different meanings. Then how does that relate to the fact that we can have a discussion where the issue becomes we each think everybody is thinking the same thing, but the word means different things to different people. And so I often find that it's very hard to be in any discussion and assume that everybody is understanding the same thing. Actually, I've been in work meetings and, you know, we all go to a meeting and afterwards everybody has a very different concept of what was said. So how do we go from this differentiation and all the philosophical and spiritual issues to just being, say, in the moment and being able to communicate with each other? So how can I communicate with all of you if there is a different meaning to that each of you hold to my words? So how do we solve that? Because that to me has been an issue for a long time. And it also relates to people telling me, well, no, just be yourself. And the other way I look at it is I don't be myself. I actually put myself in the context of where I am and who's around, and then I talk accordingly. So then those are two different pathways. So I've left 2 or 3 things for all of you if you want to say something. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I can take a little bit my opinions. But the main things, yeah, definitely there are many different concepts. But main things we're going to look to the definition of that concept. That's the one thing that makes either common or uncommon. Is the same or not same. One thing looks by that definition. And another thing looks by like even the one word, anitya. So when we talk that very beginner people, we not really talk the subtle level of anitya, but say, okay, anitya means it's changing. You are small, now you are bigger. This is anitya. Then they know only that anitya means the gross level of like a anitya, right? Anitya. And then when they knows very well, then we can say, okay, anitya means more than this. Not just simple, it's more than this. Then that we have go deeper and deeper. So that's also a skillful way to talk. They find it out that, you know, each one word has a many different meaning, but different meaning could be goes with the time by time, level by level. And another, we look at the definition. That definition is same. Doesn't matter what concepts is different is. That's I thought it.
Add to that, what Darge said, that actually when we look at that, when we explain concept, that maybe our emphasis is different, but in general, the concept is the same. Emphasis is different, that depending on the person that we are communicating as the level of understanding and just how we can help the person to move further from where the person is.
Yeah, also I can give you my our tradition explain. The Tibetan has 4 different lineages. Sakya, Nyingma, Kagyu, Gelug, the main 4 tradition lineages. The Shunyata word, the Gelugpa use the exactly Shunyata word, use it. But the Sakya, Nyingma said Dzogchen instead of Shunyata, the different term. Sakya said Seldong Zime instead of Shunyata, different term. And also Kagyuma said Chakchen, Mahamudra, the different word. But when we explain it, when we meditate on it, same come to meaning. Therefore, even 4 different terms, but meaning is emptiness, but different way to describe. Therefore, we need to focus more on different definition.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. What I meant was, you know, when the topic is something else, say it's a 10-page paper that I have written, and sunyata is just one word used among hundreds of others to convey some other topic or meaning, then there is no space for defining each word in the 10-page report, right? Like we have to go with the flow, and that's how we speak with each other. Like I cannot interrupt my sentences to define each of the words that I've used. So in practice, the definitional issue is really the issue is the problem of like the assumption that each of us know what it means, but actually each of us thinks it's different. I understand what you mean by definition, and then I appreciate what all of you are saying, that the essence should be the same.
Another way to say, we like I use the term, right? And then let's say when we use the term, right? But there is also a need to look at the context, right? So context can change the meaning.
Yes.
Tibetan words say sometimes one word goes to the verb, one word goes to the noun.
Yeah.
But either become a noun or word. It's depend on context, and it's depend on how to say it. And also we have a many common the textbook. We are discussing here based on Buddha Dharma, Buddha's teaching. And then we have a different name, a different concept. But when looking back to the Buddha's Sutra, there might a lot of same comes together. We are discussion now based on Buddha's teaching. So that's the one help. And then also it's depend on context, how to use the word, and also definition, and also different level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I think, yes, first we are learning according to the words and general knowledge to study. And then Chintamaya, which means we would contemplate on it and develop more insight, what we learn from the books or by listening to others. Then Bhavaname, then we would develop that knowledge even deeper through practice of meditation. Then only I think that would become one's own self-experience and real knowledge. In that three ways, we have to develop our knowledge when we are practicing in the Dhamma. So communicating with the others would depend upon the knowledge of the listener or the other person too. But before letting the others know, you have to get the Dhamma into yourself first. For that purpose, I think we have to develop ourselves with these three ways. Sutamaya, which means by listening, and Chintamaya, by thinking, and Bhavanamaya, by contemplating deeper and meditating on it.
That's exactly one word. We have to develop three wisdom: listening wisdom, contemplating wisdom, and experience wisdom. Then experience wisdom tell you exactly what is it. Yeah.
I'm in the US right now. I don't think people have the attention span to go through those three levels. Like they barely hear you. Like it's a challenge just to be heard, to have somebody focus on what you're saying for 20 seconds. That's very hard challenge nowadays. I'm outside in New York City. Just to get somebody to listen for 30 seconds is, but I appreciate what, so if I may share something else, there is a word called Sannata, and it's in use, it's in current use, it's not a dead word. It means, it refers to when a town is empty and there's nobody outside, we say there is Sannata. So it's still contemporary usage. I don't know if Sunyata is used in contemporary conversations in Pali or any other language.
Yeah, I think it's very common things like happening this. That's, I think, okay, the study that you will become a knowledgeable, you need to study. That's things, right? Of course, few seconds or few minutes we will not know. So study more, that you will gain more knowledge. When you get more knowledge, you will clear more doubt. That's how it happens.
The words, sorry, Dargi. the word, well, my friend, that what you mentioned is shunyata, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, shunya. Actually, the in not in the in English, we don't say that when the city is empty of people, we don't say shunya, but in Sanskrit or Pali or in my local language Sinhala, we can write it as that is empty of people, like jana shunya. So it is also in the common, like at least sizable number of people understand that when it is said. It is more literal, but it is also in day-to-day use. As well, my colleagues mentioned that the words always we get sometimes that those classical words meanings when we translate maybe slightly different, but with these kind of discussions help all of us to kind of get into the meaning. Whole idea of having these discussions is to compare like these different Buddhist traditions and find that common ground that we all have.
And again, with the word shunya, I have heard that even the concept of zero came into be with the usage of shunya in the history. Yeah.
That's a classic example. That's why they say zero was invented in South Asia because of this word. The Westerners have no such word. So if going back in time, somebody had said sunyata to a Westerner, the guy would not understand anything because they don't have the concept of the word. And the way they wrote the numbers was in the Roman numerals, you know, like the 5 is a V, and a 6 is a V plus thing. They didn't have 10 or 20. So I hear you guys, and it's I think that's why the zero came from like the Vedic tradition and the South Asian tradition.
No,
Even
it
they
is
don't have a
not
word.
the Vedic tradition. It is came from the Nalanda,
Okay.
but the Aryabhat, he is the one who got it from the Nalanda.
Okay.
Because it is improved because before the Aryabhat, the Chinese monks who were in Nalanda, they took it to China.
Aryabharta himself is not Chinese, nice Chinese, right?
No, he's not Chinese. He's Indian.
Yeah, he's Indian, yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's Chinese or Tibetan.
Oh, then you are.
Does it Shunyata?
Ante Dhammalaka, you are in trouble.
Sometimes it has a different terms and definition, right? They don't know the shunyata. They never get idea that term shunyata, but they see that, right? Let's say you see someone in front of you, but you don't know who's this. Then when people say, this is the name John, then you say, oh, now I know. You know, you see first the definition, but still you don't know what is they call it. That's the sometimes happening. And then we call it is John, he's John, then you will know better, right? This is sometimes definition sees first, but you don't know how what it called. By each different country, each different tradition might say different call. But you know, Pen, Nugu, what Sri Lanka calls is the same, the what you're writing things, right? So, but you see the pen there, but when you're so young, the 2 years kid, they sees this pen, but they don't know it's called pen. Then we have to teach them it's called pen. Then they can definition and concept put together, and then they know. Yeah.
So there's a question. Someone is asking, what are the requirements to be a Sangha in both traditions?
As I mentioned earlier, the requirement to Sangha is take vows. At least the like the novice vows, this I can say. Yeah.
Bhante Sutradhara?
Yeah, that's the same, that novice 10 vows. And that's the the main well, 10 vows and the 3 refuges, of course, but
Yeah.
the 3 refuges and 10 vows. But originally,
Pratimoksha.
yeah, but originally, when we look at the earliest Buddhist priests, they were ordained. Their full ordination as well as novice ordination was just the accepting taking 3 refuges.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mahavagga.
And also with the idea of getting rid of the suffering of samsara. When traditionally when a novice is to get ordained as a normal layperson, they would hand over the robes and other things to a monk, teacher monk, and ask, saying a formula like Sabba Dukkha Nissarana Nibbana Satchikaranatthaya, to get rid of all the suffering and to attain the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. Please, Venerable Sir, ordain me. In that way, the recipient would make a request. In accordance with that request, the teacher monk would ordain the person, and to help with that aspiration of getting rid of samsaric suffering, make the person go on underneath the disciplinary rules, 10 or more than that. In that way, they would become a member of the Mahasangha community. Is there any other question from the participants, listeners, please?
I have one question, please. The first 5 disciples you were talking about, Kondinya, I think was one of the names. Are you saying they were followers before the Buddha attained enlightenment?
They are Buddha's Dharma friend before Buddha enlightenment. They study with the one teacher together, and then Buddha went to the meditate for like a 6 year, they're not eating, right? So then they live it separated, then they come together. But they met before, but not disciple, not Buddha's disciple. So they become a Buddha disciple after Buddha enlightened.
After Buddha's enlightenment.
Yeah.
Okay. So Geshe-la, then is the difference, I don't know if I understand this right, is the difference between the Theravada and the Mahayana is that with Mahayana, the first Sangha was Sariputra, Ananda, Kaspya after he attained enlightenment? Is that the difference?
No, I think both are same. They are
Both the same.
their first
Okay.
disciple, only Buddha become a disciple after Buddha become enlightenment. May I true the Sudara Bandhisudara?
Yeah, that's right. That the first 5 monks, actually, according to the story, that to teach, having realized the Four Noble Truths and attaining enlightenment, Buddha looked around to find people to teach. Of course, there is another story that the Brahma, the supreme being, invited the Buddha to teach, because Buddha was hesitant to teach because it was very deep, very subtle teaching. And but anyway, that when he looked around, he found that the first 2 teachers, they already gone. And then the 5 band of ascetics, they were really, when they were helping the ascetic Gautama when he was following all those extreme austerities. And then I don't know how much they have to help, because he was not eating mostly. And then finally that was the standard path. Then they believed to attain enlightenment. When the ascetic Gautama realized that it is not going to lead him to enlightenment, and then he came back to the moderate lifestyle. The 5 band of ascetics, Kondanya, Baddiya, Vappa, Mahanama, Asaji, all of them gave up hope in the Buddha that he is not going to attain enlightenment in this life. So there is no use of waiting for him to attain enlightenment and teach us. So they left him. But Buddha, after ascetic Gautama, after realizing the enlightenment, then he came back to them. And also he had a hard time convincing them that he was the enlightened one.
Oh, I see. So they turned away from him and then they came back.
Yes, the Buddha
Okay.
came back to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bande Damaloka, I think my suggestion is time up. So we still not finished this topic. That's how Sangha members spread. So we can keep same promo and same topic continues. How is that? At the next
Yeah.
month?
I think we can do next, July, July program, right? This would be the good topic to be continued. I think, I don't know how the others would feel, but I think this same method would be more beneficial than giving just a talk and asking questions afterwards. So in July, it would be July 4th, Monday, and the next program will be on that same topic. Yeah.
July 4th.
I think we decide something different a couple of months ago, because July full moon day, is, according to Tibetan calendar, it is World Purification Day.
What is that day?
World Purification Day.
That's not, I don't care that.
Oh, okay.
I don't care. We always do world purification.
Okay.
We don't have to wait that day. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know something, traditional things there, because that is the day Buddhism introduced to Sri Lanka.
I see. This is not really that Buddha's connected with the Buddha's deeds. It's more connected with the protector and local deities. Purifying means, make them happy. They're offering something to them. This is how we call it.
That's
okay. Yeah. I think just before finishing today's program, Bante Sutadhara, Bante Geshe, and Bante Kamalsiri, please say something, then we can end the program.
I will just say thank you for all of you.
Yeah, I also say thank you for everyone. Listen to us.
Thank you. Let us continue this.
Yeah, then let's continue, and let's meet again on July 4th. Please send us your suggestions also to improve this program. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for Bandananda, who lead meditation and prayer. Thank you.
Yeah, and Venerable Geshe, please transfer merits to the deities and departed ones to end the program.
Okay, so let me find out because I remember everything in Tibetan, but not in English.
You can continue in Tibetan, just saying the English meaning in brief.
Yeah, I was just saying the increasing bodhicittas wherever it not increases, and then develop the bodhicitta, everyone in mind, right? Chanju semjo rembo che magye panum gegyo che geba nyamba me baya konde kondo pewa sho. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.